Hey, how's it going everyone? This is Lam here. This is going to be the last Fuji Friday that I'm going to be doing for this series. It is sad, but all good things must come to an end. But I did want to do a proper send-off for this series because it's been very popular. And I did want to thank the community for watching this series because it's definitely been one of the more popular series on this channel. I love doing the series, but just with the current state of things, I don't think I want to be one brand myopic. What I basically decided is I'm going to be covering more topics on my Friday segments, but I'll talk about that a little bit later. Let's go ahead and get into the news, and then I can kind of tell you what's going on for this segment. So for the first news bit that I want to talk about, there is a firmware update for the GFX 100 and the XT4. Definitely go to their website. It's actually a pretty nice website and it's pretty easy to navigate around, but if you do own those cameras, it's definitely worth checking out. And there has been a couple of YouTube channels kind of already covering that firmware update, so there's already plenty of content on YouTube that's going to be doing that type of stuff. The second news bit that I want to talk about was that on the Fuji channels, and there's actually a lot of Fuji YouTube channels, but they were talking about the history of medium format. So if you're interested, I'll go ahead and put the comments below. And while we're on this subject, I do want to promote some of their channels over there on Fujifilms. I'm not sure why they have so many YouTube channels. There's actually a ton of them. If they were to condense it down to 2 or 3 channels, I think they would get much better subscriber numbers. Definitely check out the Fuji guys, Fujifilm USA if you're in the USA. It looks like every big country has its own channel, which makes it a little bit frustrating to kind of figure out where the content is. And lately they've been putting out a lot of content. The only thing that I would warn you about is that these are channels by Fujifilm, so they will give you really good informational content, but just keep in mind they work for Fujifilm, so they're not going to criticize their own product. So they will have great tutorials like how to make your body into a webcam, but they won't tell you that it's going to be limited in resolution. You definitely have to watch your battery life, because if it runs out of power, there goes your webcam. Those are kind of things that they don't really touch upon, and it's something that's really well worth knowing. So it's also really good if you're actually looking at features to go to independent YouTubers and figure out what are the downsides to them. So just something for you to think about, but they are still really great channels. And if you need your Fujifilm fix, definitely subscribe to those. The last news bit that I want to cover for this week is a lot of people have been reporting to me that their XT3s are made in Japan. Now, I don't know what the delineation of when, cameras are made in Japan and when cameras are made in China. That's something that you might want to look into if it's important to you. It is important to me, but I am really glad that some of the XT3s are made in Japan. It's just that I have a made in China one. So that's something that I just want to update and make sure that everybody who watches this channel knows that. So definitely keep an eye out for where camera bodies are made, because they can change. And really, the camera manufacturers don't really tell us. This is one of the reasons why I would really love it if the camera manufacturers would tell us where they manufacture cameras, so that we can make a better informed decision. But this isn't something that anybody's doing right now. So it's definitely something that I'll push for and I'll talk about, but that's for another video. That's all of the news that I have to cover for this week. Again, I want to thank the community for watching Fuji Fridays. It's been great talking to all of you every Friday. I try to get through all of the comments. It sometimes takes me a little bit while, but I do try to reply to every one of them, so I hope you've noticed that. But there definitely will be more content coming on Fridays. It's just going to be changed up a little bit. Like, I'm looking at a few things that I really want to talk about. Like, I'm trying to replace my action cam right now, so this is the DJI Osmo. So I've been looking at where GoPros are made, and it's really interesting how multinational companies have to manufacture their products. So I do want to dive deep into that. I also want to talk about where Sony cameras are made, Canon cameras are made, or Nikon cameras are made. Somebody brought up that they know I'm a big drone person, so they were wondering what I'm going to do for drones, because most of them are made in China. I did actually find a US manufacturer, and I was looking through them, just making sure that I was fact checking, and they are actually US made, and it looks like they are. It's something that I'm really excited to really dive deep into and look at one of their products, which right now is on back order, so I'm kind of having having to wait for that. So there are plenty of topics, and I do have some really good stories about some of the other brands because I have had interactions with them, and I will share those as those segment comes up. So that's kind of a preview of what's going to be going on in the Friday segments, or I might actually split some of those out to be its own segments and just post more videos, because I've only been posting once a week, but I might post a little bit more kind of just to catch up with content. So those are my immediate plans. Hopefully everybody's doing well. Definitely let me know what you think, and I will see you in the next video.